and welcome to round 7 of the E-Series for the 2 International Saloon Stock Cars. Welcome to Holland, welcome to Potterroad, Kevin.
Yes, welcome to everyone who's watching as well this evening. Here we are for round number 7 of our E-Series 2020, which is at Posterholt Raceway for the Euromaster Championship, sponsored by Loeff Tankstelle, or the Loeff Pompstation, or the Loeff
Petrol Station.
Anyway, sponsored by Loeff. Big thanks to Frank for sponsoring this, and thank you for being here again, Nick, and thank you for everyone who's joined us already for another, hopefully another great evening.
Let's hope so. We have a massive turnout of over 40 cars arriving here at Holland. Everyone took their ways over from England to Holland, took the ferry, took the train or whatever. It's been a long week of travelling from Cruvens to Posterholt, but anyway, everyone seems to be here well and safe. As I already said, a lot of cars booked in. I think this is probably the highest turnout we've had, the highest turnout of real-life drivers, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like everyone was keen again to get racing this evening for the Euromaster Championship. Just like in real life, we would have had the meeting this weekend, don't we? We would have been racing at Posterholt for our own real-life Euromaster Championship this weekend, which would have seen a lot of overseas drivers out there as well today or this weekend. But sadly we can't. But good to see we have tonight. And there's 44 cars booked in, split up in 6 heats tonight, so every single driver gets to do 3 races, which will make them qualify for the final, which will be graded or lined up in points order again, like the last couple of championship races we've done, which means that there is no all-comers or consolation, but there is another wildcard to give out for the final, isn't there, Nick? So your favorite driver that hasn't qualified can be voted into the final again, like the last couple of weeks.
That's the plan also for tonight here at Posterholt, as you already mentioned, Kevin. 6 seats for drivers, 3 heats for every driver tonight, followed by the grand final, the big Euromaster race. It's going to look really, really good. We've seen some good action in the practice already. It's an action track, Posterholt is. Long straights, very tight bend, so it makes up for some really good saloon stock car action. We have currently 25 drivers on the server. I'm pretty sure that some of them will still have to get removed, because we will have about 20 cars in each of the heats. And we're also seeing some new drivers out there in this practice session already, as Robin van Brank in the H87, one of our new competitors in the online series, a very well-known driver throughout the online community, as he was one of the top drivers years back on UK Dirt and other tracks, then stepped into the left-hand drive saloon stock cars, and then was one of the very first drivers that also started competing in the right-hand drive formula as well, in the national saloon stock cars. So it's good to have Robin between us, and also racing for the Euromaster at his home track tonight. If I scroll further down, we've also got Clark Wells, of course, father of Josh Wells, who is now competing in the 1300cc stock car formula, but also a former 2-litre saloon driver, so he's more than welcome to race with us on this online league. Further down, we also see Slibby, which is Sven Slibioda. He's the man that bought my old car. So another German addition to the field in real life. So he has got now as well, and is all ready to go for some action. Although he never stepped into but also, yeah, so he's also allowed to go. And another famous member, a famous new addition to the field of drivers, is Lee Pierce in the 23. Of course, a current 1300cc stock car champion of the world, joining us. Also another former 2-litre saloon stock car driver. Had various different cars, all looking really good. I remember him racing a hire car of the Collivers at the first ever Steve Newman Memorial, but also, of course, a regular driver of the saloon stock cars a few years back. So we have a lot of new additions for the action tonight. It's looking good to that. And I'm really looking forward to some good action tonight.
Yes, as we give the people a quick look at their formats for this evening. I see I made a little mistake, thanks to the people who have noticed. We still call it round 6 at Crimond, but it's obviously round 7 at Postworld. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for sharing either way, if you do or can, to get people interested for tonight's meeting. Should be good fun. Anyway, we are now looking at our program for this evening. Like we said, 6 heats of around 20 cars each to qualify for the final, and that will be it. We'll be lining up for the final in points order, and we will run the Euromaster final over 25 laps, and that will be everything there is for this evening, Nick. And I'm excited to see who can take away the points and the championship final tonight.
Of course, there's also a reason why we are out at Postworld tonight, and that's because we would have been there in real life this weekend. We're trying to keep the fixtures as realistic as possible, and this weekend would have been the Euromaster Championship at Postworld. Unfortunately, because of the current situation, we are not able to run the meeting in real life, but we will do our best to put some action on the online version of the track. As Ryan Wright, our current Irish Open champion, is once again the man who put the fastest lap time in this current session, was a 17.603. Robin van Brank, as I already said, he was a really, really good driver in the early days of our Factor 1, is currently second, followed by Hardy Velema, the 321 machine, who has showed some serious pace as well in the former races and the former meetings, especially the last few races. And in fourth is Matt Sterling, a man who's not on our Factor for too long, but is still going very, very strong and going very, very well. He's one of the red tops, one of the people that got graded up after last meeting, and he is trying to get this win in the final tonight.
And I think the race admins are about ready to get going for the first race. We've shown our viewers the format for this evening, and I think we should take a quick look at the track to see some live action before going on to race our first race of this evening, to have a little tour around the track, because I can imagine a lot of people who are watching tonight have never seen the Postworld track before, have they, Nick? Since there's only been one test meeting around there in real life for the right-hand driven English saloons, so it's going to be a new track for a lot of drivers, but it's a good one. And very long straights and very tight bends, so I think it's going to be carnage and a lot of big hits going in this evening to see what's going to happen.
Yes, Postworld track maybe just famous for losing some pit gates, as of course there was a terrible incident at that test meeting down in turn 1 when the pit gate actually crushed out of the actual fence and flew away, and luckily no one was hurt, no one was standing behind that pit gate, but that just shows how dangerous stock car racing still is. I've been to Postworld a few times since to watch the other races there, and they've adjusted all 3 pit gates, and that would have been all safe for this weekend's racing. Postworld, a very, very old track. I think it first started in 1970. So it's got some big history, quite important races. They had the 1300cc Stock Car European Championship there in the 90s. They had the Midget European Championship quite a good few times, and some other races as well, with also a lot of English people and UK drivers racing there. I remember Paul Ford coming over in an F2, Adam Rubery, even George Polly raced his national hot rods around there back in the 80s. So the track is really operating for quite a long time now. Just not really as famed for saloon stock car racing, because they always kept going with their left-hand drive saloon stock cars, which still race at the track. But they now finally decided to give us a go as well in the right-hand drive national saloons. After that test meeting, we would have been there for a few meetings this year, but unfortunately all cancelled for this season. But we hope to be back there soon, as it is a really good stock-out track, to be fair. Proper shape, long straights, tight and tight bends, so it really produces some good racing.
Yes, and hopefully tonight will be good in racing-wise as well, which I think it will be. Big thanks to our race admins again this evening, Jan Hartsbecker and Jeremy van der Kratz. Jeremy once again doing his double duty of racing and being an admin at the same time. So thanks to our DSCDA chairman for the big tasks he's taken on his shoulder. I mean, we can do the easy work, can't we, Nick? Just talk about it and be the clowns for the evening, and he gets to do the serious work. But thanks again. And I think, have you had word from the admins yet, Nick, about whether we are ready for the first race or not?
Yes, they just called the start of heat number 1. Said they're ready, so we are nearly off and running for the 2 litre saloon stock cars heat number 1.
And like we talked about, we've seen some new people out there. We see the current 1300cc world champion Lee Pearce out there as well tonight, don't we, Nick? So interesting to see what he can do in a on the Saloon Soccer mod we are racing.
Solan. Admin's just called heat number 1. So drivers now joining the track and going out for their heat number 1. We currently have 18 cars out for heat number 1. As they now start moving to their grades.
Yes, as we see the people, we see the lineup for the first race. There's 20 cars out there, but I think 20 will be plenty enough. We decided to split up more heats and less cars on track because it's going to be carnage with the tight bends and long straights. I think we'll see big hits going in, and it's going to be interesting to see who can qualify the best out of their 3 heats, and all heats count towards their qualifying positions for the final, and see what they can do. As we see Peter Shaw lining up for the first race. At the white grade, we see Laurens Andringa coming back after a couple of weeks off. We see Darren Turner, we see Peter Lowe out there, and for a change, not a lot of white tops in this race out there, isn't it, Nick? As we see Jan lining up the yellow grade drivers, which are Patrick Rutters, Aaron Totham, Bas Hagen. Who else have we got out there?
I can see Johnny Wood there, the 667 lining up with the yellow tops as well. 74 Baron Tapstra lining up there. Kenny Wagemans now up to blue, lining up with the blue tops. Remco van Bezel, Will Brazier is doing a comeback after I think he was not out there around Crimond last time.
Yes, and at the back we see our championship friends. Ryan Wright, our Irish Open champ, and Jeremy van der Kratz, our English Open Championship winner of the last couple of weeks. They round off the grid for the first race. As Jan now lines up the last cars of this heat, and we'll probably get ready, as we have a very nice view, Nick, of our Apostle track and all the people that are ready for race number 1 of the evening. As we see a massive 200 people watching with us combined on the 2 Liter Saloon Stocker page, our DSCDA Facebook page and YouTube page. It's good to see so many people excited to be out there joining us for this evening.
As we're now ready to go, heat number 1 for the 2 litre saloon stock cars. Cars are rolling, 20 cars out in this heat number 1. Let's see who comes out with the first win over here in Holland.
As we see Peter Shaw lining up near the back of the pace car of Jan. Laurens on his outside, and I've seen Peter Shaw practicing tonight, Nick, and he looked to be really quick, so I'm excited to see what he can do in that one. As we see the pace car rolling around in first gear, it seems. As, I think we'll see some damage out there tonight. And the last couple of weeks have all been carnage, with the post at Bellevue, the tyres at Crimond, and then Posterod with the long straights and short bends. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen.
Here we go then. Cars going down in the pits band as they speed up. The green flag goes down and we're up underway to racing as Peter Shaw gets a really good start in corner 134. Gets away out in front. Here comes Lawrence Underinger now over the curbs. Gets nearly spun round there by Darren Turner as Peter Shaw seems to have a good lead already.
As we see, Laurens Andringa taking up second place going into the bend as he gets spun, half spun by Darren Turner, who now takes up the place from him. And we see Patrick Rutters from Blue Top out in third already. Oh, as they both go sideways into the corner. But he managed to hold it. And he's now following Robin van Brank, as you said, moving up very quickly from yellow tops as well. But like we said, there's tight bends around this track and long straights, so they all seem to have a tendency of going on straight in the corner.
It's 134, the Northern Irish driver, Peter Shaw leading the way, as you already said, really good pace of practice. Can he pull this one off? Darren Turner is now second in car number 379. There's Robin van Brank getting a big bumper there from Remco van Wezel now. 747 Matt Sterling goes up the inside of Bas Hagen. Lawrence Andringa seems to be in a little bit of trouble there, going very wide, as I can't see the red tops in between the top 5 yet. So they're pretty much involved in some action there by the looks of it.
As we are now looking at Mr. Matt Sterling, who's made it up to third already. As Robin van Brank gets spun out of position, and it's now Matt Sterling who's made it from the pack as the first driver to break away from the rest of the drivers. As we see Laurens Andringa still in the steady 4th position, Bas Hagen in 5th. But we see there Remco van Wezel being passed by Ryan Wright and Jeremy already. So as you said, there wasn't a sight of the red top yet, but they've come there now. As Remco spins out of 5th position and qualifying place. He's now losing a lot of time to the front runners, as we see Jeremy van der Kraat's now taken up 5th, and he's making big gains on the front runners, Nick.
Pretty much a rodding fest there for the leader, for Peter Shaw, who now gets under pressure though from 379 Darren Turner, who has closed up a little bit but still quite far away. Can he reach the top step on the podium of this heat number 1? Peter Shaw looks clear at the moment. Second is Darren Turner, then it's Matt Sterling. Lawrence Andringa, is he 4th? Yeah, he is. He's holding himself quite well for a white top. Then it's Jeremy van der Kraats in 5th, Bas Hagen, Ryan Wright. Then it's Robin van Brank and Johnny Woods.
It's worth noticing that Peter still has a 3 second lead over Mr. Turner, as we are on board with him now, and he's navigating the traffic, as we say, the back markers. But as we see,
oh goodness me, what a crash there! Sorry to interrupt you, Kevin, but a huge crash between Robin van Wezel, Remco van Wezel, excuse me, Aaron Tottenham and a few others in that pit bend there. They went all over the infield. That's of course the point here at Postal, no track markers, no marker tyres or anything, so you can pretty much rumble over the curb big time and hit other drivers. And Darren Turner's around.
Have you seen how Peter Shaw is managing himself past everyone? He is doing a very good job of making it through the pack and making now a 4 second lead over the second place driver and a 7 second lead over the third place driver. He's got half a lap advantage. What a great job by Peter in his first race, as we are now running towards the end of the first heat already. As he is now battling with Remco van Wezel, but who have in second? It's now Matt Sterling up in second, who's done a steady job as well from Blue Top, Nick.
Very good job there from all the boys. Big bumper is still going in. Here comes now Matt Sterling up the inside of Hardy Vellemer. Jeremy van der Kraats keeps up, but look at the action for third place. Ryan Wright just went in with a bumper there. Darren Turner still up there, and Lawrence Andringa as they go into the last bend. Peter Shaw now comes around to take the victory in heat number 1. Matt Sterling seems to have secured an easy second place. Jeremy van der Kraats comes through the turn in 3rd. Then it's Ryan Wright over the line in 4th, Lawrence Andringa 5th, Darren Turner 6th, Bas Hagen 7th, Kenny Wagemans 8th, and the rest come through. Whew! A nice and steady victory there for Peter Shaw in car number 134. A really good job there by him, to be fair. You have to give him that.
Yeah, props to Peter Shaw in that race. That was very well done. And I thought that was quite a steady first race, Nick, without too many big issues for people and big crashes. But the point is, compared to other weeks we've done racing so far, is that we are now not doing a top 6 qualifier, but a points total. So people don't feel like, oh, I've qualified now, we can mess about for the rest of the evening. No, they have to be seriously about their racing. As we will give you a quick run through of the results. Nick, can you do that for us?
Yes, of course. The winner of heat number 1 over here in Holland is Peter Shaw and coming 134. Second was Matt Sterling and NI 747. Third was Jeremy van der Kratz and H16. Fourth went to Irish Open champion Ryan Wright in number 153, with Lawrence and Dringer in H633 in 5th place. Bas Hagen secured 6th in the car number 8. Then was Kenny Wagemut in H112. 8th went to Robin van Brank in H87. And the results just got removed, so I can't tell you what 9th and 10th place is.
Someone else finished in 9th and 10th. As we are making ourselves ready for heat number 2, and thanks for all the people who've joined us. There was 200 plus people watching that first race. I hope we done a good job of commentating of what we saw. Let us know in the comments. As before the last couple of weeks, we are being interactive with the comments again. And yeah, thanks guys for joining in. And I think it's going to be another good ride, a nice racing evening tonight. And yeah, that was a pretty steady first race, wasn't it, Nick? And Peter Shaw did such a good job of breaking away from the pack. And I think even as a white top, if he manages to qualify near the front in that final, I think he's got a good chance of doing really, really well in that one.
Peter Shaw, what a performance from the white top from Northern Ireland. He's really one of the competitors for our Euromaster final, I'd reckon. Doing very well, pulling some really good lap times, so once he breaks away, it looks really good for him. Let's see what the comments of the people say. Charlie Stocks wants me to say his name, so hello Charlie. Little shout out to him. Craig Benwell saying, I mean, we've walked one lap off the track. That was when we were over to Postel with Craig and Jake, of course, showing around on the track. As the admin just put down who was 9th and 10th, that was... let me check.
Johnny Wood in 9th. In 10th. Mr. Bami Terpstra in 10th. Good job by him as well. And we see the people join in for the second heat of this evening, where we see Jamie Sampson out there, Philo Engelston, Charlie Lobb, Pendamine, quite a lot of drivers that we have not seen out there before, but that is because we had such a huge turnout tonight, wasn't it, Nick? It's good to see so much interest from everyone, every single driver out there racing and practicing for our meetings. And it's worth mentioning that this meeting also counts towards World Qualifying Round 2. So that means that not just we are fighting for the championship this evening, but also for the World Final grid later and our E-Series next. So I wonder who's going to do that well in that one. And I think after last week, it's Jeremy leading the way thus far in our World Qualifying round. So I think he will be eager not alone to take tonight's final, but also pick up points for that World Championship grid. As all the drivers of groups 3 and 4 now join the track and join the server. In between there, we've got Bart Wouters, for example, in 868. We have Craig Banwell, 128, Warren Darby, Clark Wells, Rowan Benai, Mikey Rosmal, and Geronimo in 527, Andrew Mean, Keegan Sampson, another new driver. Of course, Junior Sampson, Lee's son, who's going to step up into saloons this year. So good to have him on board as well. Nige642 also in this group. So he's once again in the same group by the looks of it as Craig Banwell. That could be interesting after Craig's payback went a little bit wrong last time. So I'm pretty sure 128 will not pass a 642 cleanly when he sees him on track. Yes, and this is a couple of new drivers out in this one. Worth mentioning is Clark Wells out in this one, as is PSC. As we see... as the admins call go for our second race already. They are quick. We don't even have time to talk a lot of rubbish, Nick. The admins are too quick for us. Let's get back to the live race scene and see what's going to happen for this one. As we see Bart Wouters out there as well. Geronimo's out there. It's I think it's Keegan Sampson out in the Sampson hire car, which is quite fitting.
It is, yeah.
Who else have we got? We've got Warren Darby. I haven't seen. Is Eddie out there tonight? I've seen. He's
No,
logged in, I think,
no.
but I've not.
No, he's not out there tonight. Warren messaged me earlier saying that Eddie's unfortunately not able to do tonight, but he will be next week for sure. Charlie Loeff is out there. Then our final winner from last week, Casey Engelston in car number 220, who's now moved up to red top as I've seen. The unlucky driver from last week, Zach Gilmore, who nearly won the final in his home country up in Scotland, but unfortunately
that was a dramatic race, wasn't it? Where he took off his his wheel on the last lap while leading with a comfortable lead. Will we see another exciting final like that today with an unexpected finish? I think last race wasn't that exciting just because of the great job that Peter did in that one. As we see Meany lining up, Jamie Sampson lining up, we see his son Keegan lining up, we see Cole Atkins lining up as with Mikey Rosmalen. That's quite a good group of white top drivers out there, Nick.
Yeah, currently we see 7 white tops in this one. Slightly more cars in this one as well than in heat number 1. I see about 22 cars out in this one. So,
as we see Jeremy out from the crash out on track, you might think, but that's him being the race admin at the moment, so he's gonna park on the infield. Our red tops this meeting are Philo Engelston, Casey Engelston, and Charlie Lobb. So wonder what they can pull off.
here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Heat number 2 time it is here at Postrol for the 2 litre saloon stock cars. Rolling lap tune is, of course, on again. It's time for 60 laps of action saloon stock cars, heat number 2.
Yes, as Jan, our Mr. Pace car, is pacing the field again, and we see all the cars rolling by. Geronimo and Bart Wouters leading the yellow grade group. Van Eye out there as well. As we are underway in racing for heat number 2, Nick.
As Clark Wells goes around even before he passes the start-finish line for the first time. In the lead in these early stages is now Andrew Moon in car number 140. Look at that huge push there. Oh, we've got a car upside down there. That's the Venray hire car of Rod Stewart.
We see Andrew Moon leading the way, and the Samson father and son duo in second and third. Mikey Rosmalen in fourth, and Atkins in fifth position. They're doing a good job so far, but Mr. Meany is pulling away already. Where's the rest of the pack? Oh, as we see the pack coming past, and that is some group of cars that are fighting for the position.
Oh my goodness me. Huge pile-up once again there in turn number 2.
Oh, as a couple of cars go into the fence, and we see now looking at Nigel Thomas, who's got a massive pack of cars behind him. As we see a big shot coming in, but he's managed to hold it. As we are on board with him, and we are now looking at Warren Darby behind him. Can he go in for a punt, or is he going to take it easy in these first couple of laps? It seems to be going all quite smoothly thus far, Nick.
Meany has got a huge gap from Jamie Sampson already. Julian Smith is now in third place. Then it is Nigel Thomas in fourth. As we have more big crashing going in there on turn number 3 and 4. Jamie Sampson trying to close the gap to 140, but can't manage to do that yet.
As we are now watching at a quite nice battle between Zach Gilmore, Casey Engelston, Ian McLaughlin, and Cole Atkins, and they are fighting away for the top 10 position, Nick. I mean, look at the racing they're doing just to get these last couple of points for their qualifying position.
Oh my goodness me, this looks a lot harder than that heat number 1, to be fair. In the lead though.
Ben Amin pulling away quite smoothly with Julian Smith in second, Jamie Sampson in third, and we see now behind him Craig Benwell on a lap down, and behind him Nigel Thomas. Will we see another payback from Craig coming in on this one?
And look who's in between there. That's Jamie Sampson, of course, going very well in second place, but he gets pushed around there by Craig Benwell. He puts him wide. Now 642 goes up the inside of 128. What's going to happen? Samson though is in between there. Here comes
they're going for a
Look
big
at that.
one!
He puts him straight to
Oh,
the
he's
fence,
lost the
and
wheel!
Jamie Samson gets stuck as well.
Jamie Samson has lost the wheel, Nick, from second place. He's gone. Absolutely gone. That are his chances of a good finish in the first race completely gone and done with.
I think that was a moment of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, he got involved in that 642-128 accident. So unfortunate once again for Jamie Samson getting taken out of second place. But here comes Charlie Loeff now, up the inside of 642, taking up the third place. So the red top driver coming through quite nicely.
Oh, another leader is in the fence as well, Nick!
Mean got taken out, and that's Josh Wells now in the lead. Second is Charlie Loeff, third is Nigel Thomas, fourth is Warren Darby.
I kind of missed what happened there. I was looking at Jamie Samson's stranded car in the fence, but I'm not sure what happened there. And it was Meany with the comfortable lead completely gone, and now it's Josh. Oh, sorry, it's Josh Wells in the Julian Smith car. Excuse me.
Second now is Charlie Loeff as they go into the last bend. Josh Wells very wide there in car number 111.
As we see Warren Darby up in 4th and Zach Gilmore up in 5th. Another good race by that pair, and I've seen some good clean racing thus far in this race, Nick.
As Josh Wells now goes over the line in first place. Second is Charlie Loeff in 980. Third is Nige in 642. What a race there.
4th was Warren Darby, 5th was Zach Gilmore, 6th was Casey Eggleston, 6th was Ian McLaughlin, 8th was Bart Wouters, newcomer Lee Pierce was in 9th, and James Kingwell was up in 10th. Another steady race that was, Nick.
That was dramatic for Jamie Samson, to be fair. Very unfortunate. He just got in between the battle between 128 and 642 there in the wrong moment. So I feel really sorry for Jamie. But anyway, that's stock car racing. And you can't do much about that, can ya?
No, it was the same for Meany. I didn't see what happened to him, because he was leading that race, and all of a sudden I switched cameras up to him and he was in the fence. So I'm sorry to everyone watching and wondering what happened. We'll have to find out, because I don't know. But he got put in and didn't manage to get away again. And in the end he finished in 12th position. So it was Josh Wells winning the race, Charlie Loeff in 2nd, Nigel Thomas in 3rd, Warren Darby in 4th, Zach Gilmore in 5th, 120 Casey Eggleston in 6th, 7th was Ian McLaughlin, 8th was Bart Wouters, 9th was Lee Pierce, and 10th was James Kingwell.
As I will now quickly go down to the race control and be right back in a second. So then, here we are back after a quick adventure to the race control.
Did you get any news? Did you get any result changes, or?
Yes, I was just wondering about Josh Wells and the 111 because
he messaged me on. He just messaged me saying that's Julian Smith on his account. He made a mistake.
Okay.
So you can, if you want to inform.
No, I will let them know. Whether put down a little message. I was just wondering. I was wondering actually all that race why Josh Wells was racing there because he is not a real life racer. But if that was Julian, that's all right. I just got kicked from the server somehow. I hope nothing is wrong with it.
I am having a look as I got kicked as well, Nick. So I'm quickly checking out if everything is alright, because we haven't had a lot of problems with our servers the last couple of weeks, but we are now having, it seems.
I can't find a server anyway in the R-Factor matchmaker, which is quite a bad sign. So we will quickly try and fix the server.
It should be again online now, Mr. Nick, as the server doesn't seem to appreciate our crashing. And now it's not the pit gate being removed from the track, but it's the server going down. Have a quick
So the
look,
server
mate.
just lost the pit gate?
Yes, the pit gate.
Yeah, it's back online, alright.
Yeah.
Good. That's good news.
That's very good news. I got a little bit worried then for a little moment, as I'm sure that all the drivers are now getting ready for heat number 3, and I think this is going to be full of new drivers as well. We'll see a couple of people out there who we haven't seen thus far, I think, this evening. Will we? No, we won't. Everyone's been out yet.
Yeah. This is the same drivers, I'd say, as in Heat 1, I would reckon. No, it is probably... Let me check. I can check, of course, on Discord. Meeting info. This is Heat number 3, so it's Group 1 and 3. So it's a part of Heat 1 and Heat 2 together in this one.
Yes, as we see, I can see already Peter Shaw, Heat number 1 winner, is out there again. As is Keegan Sampson, Kenny Wagemans out there, Knights Thomas again. We see Zach Gilmore out there again. So it's going to be another good heat, I think, Nick. And I think thus far we've seen some steady racing already this evening, and less chaotic than the last couple of weeks, because we saw some mad things happening and mad results and big pileups, and it seems to be a lot more smoother this week, doesn't it, Nick?
The drivers are really improving, aren't they? I mean, they get used to R-Factor, they get used to how everything works, so the drivers are pretty much trying to get some results now, which is a good thing, I would say. So I really enjoy how the people are racing and how everything is going.
Yeah, definitely doing very, very well. And I see someone asking, can anyone download this game, or is it drivers only? Anyone can download this game. Anyone can go out in the server if you'd like to. The game is up for download, and so is the skin pack and the tracks we are using. So you are free, if you are a non-real life driver, to come practice with us, race with us, have fun with us during the weeks. It's for now just the meetings that are being done by either current or drivers like Keegan and Warren that will be racing a saloon stock car this year. Because we've got some people out there that have never driven a saloon stock car but will be soon, because they are moving up from mini stocks this season. Or drivers that might not have raced a saloon for a very long time. But it's good to see this mix of people out there, isn't it, Nick? It makes it fun to show you all what they can do on this game.
Yes, of course. It's most of them are second generation drivers, just like Keegan or Warren or whoever. They all, of course, sons of saloon drivers that are in the Formula for years, and it's good to see all them coming up towards the saloon stock cars lately, and to have some young new blood in the saloons, as we all already have seen. Let's say, for example, Charlie Sentry coming in from the mini stocks, Philo, Casey Engelson a few years back, Craig Banwell, all them drivers coming into saloons from the mini stocks. Yeah, you could really say the RCI mini stocks are a little bit of a kindergarten of the 2-litre saloon stock cars, as a lot of the drivers from the RC mini stocks go into bangers or saloon stock cars.
as our race admins are getting everyone ready for the third heat of this evening. As we see some troubles with people being out in the wrong cars. As we are now getting ready to get moving on the third race of this evening. Last heat was a mistake. We were talking about Julian Smith, and the name that popped up was Josh Wells, but it was actually Julian Smith out there. So we have to make up for that one. That was our fault. That was a little mistake, but it was Julian Smith winning that second race, and I wonder who's going to win this third heat. Which means after this one we'll be halfway through the heats already of this evening, 3/4 of an hour into the meeting, and curious to see who's going to line up at the front of this big field. But I don't even think being at the front is a very good sign if you can see the massive pack of cars that will follow you into the first time event, isn't it?
Okay, as 189 quickly gets sorted with one of the cars that are from the DSCDA pack, or the DSCDA custom build hire cars, which is of course the Samson hire car, the Venray hire car, the Billy Smith hire car, and the DSCDA hire car.
DSCDA hire, yes.
Yeah.
A fictional hire car. That was what I was talking about. Anyone can download this game. Anyone can play it with us during the week or during the weekend. It's just on the Sunday of the actual meeting itself is where we don't allow non-meeting drivers in our server. So everyone that wants to race in the evening can have a proper practice, because it only allows 40 drivers out there. As we see 20 cars-ish out for the heat number 3. We are waiting for one more driver to join the server, and then we can go racing for this next race, as we still have a massive 150 people staying with us. So thank you for that, guys, and remember that we'll have another wildcard tonight, don't we, Nick? And like the last weeks, the Atkins family and Ian Govia ain't out here tonight, but we only count each vote once. So no voting for yourself 20 times, because it doesn't work. As we have a nice look at the pit, and I think for the people that have been to Posterholt, Nick, can tell it actually looks quite realistic.
It really does. To be fair, for my point of view, I've got to say, I mean, Posterholt is a track where I grew up together with Venray, really, with the old track at Venray, as those tracks are our home tracks, just 30 minutes to both of them. So those were obviously also the two tracks that run the saloon stock cars when I grew up, when that was still racing the left-hand drive saloon stock cars. So those are, I have to say, two tracks that are in my heart a little bit, although they might not be like the best looking or the best promoted tracks, but anyway, I've pretty much grown up there during the meetings, and it's nice to have such a realistic model of the tracks on R Factor, from my point of view. As the drivers now get towards their grades, 16 cars out in this one, in this heat number 3. Ian Govey is saying, "I missed the ferry."
We need to remember, by the way, Nick, that Peter Shaw won his race, and he needs to line up at the back of his grade for the...
Yep.
So you might want to type that in chat quickly. Go out in the higher cars, then.
Sorted.
Okay, cheers, mate. As we see him reading the message, and in our case, the virtual, what's it called again? Receiver.
Yeah.
As we have a look further down the field, so we see Aaron Totham, James Kingwell, and Patrick Rutters for the yellow grey drivers. Zach Gilmore, Kenny Wagemans, Will Brazier, and Ian McLaughlin for the blue grey drivers, and rounding off the field are Casey Engelston and Jeremy van der Kratz as red top drivers. So we'll see what happens in this one. Who's your favourite for this race, Nick?
I think Jeremy van der Kratz has a really good chance to win this. He's really fast. He's proven he's fast. He's proven to be going very well. Also around this track already with his second place in the earlier heats, second or third, I don't know.
My surprise for the first race was Laurens Andringa. He messaged me an hour before the start. A late booking, a late turn up. Can I race? I said, yeah, fine. You can race. I sorted his skin pack, sorted his computer, and he was there at quite a good position. As we are underway and racing already, Mr. Pace Car has decided for an early start this time, Nick.
Here we go. It's a green flag for this heat number 3. Here at Posthold, as Atkins is in the early lead. Here comes Laurens Andringa now. You mentioned him already, and he's going on the inside of Atkins there, up in the racing lead. Bumper goes in.
They're going side by side quite nicely. Quite nice battle up there as we switch to the rear view camera. Will he go for a punt in this one? No, he takes it easy. Laurens has learned from his mistakes the first couple of races and he's moving up to the inside again. But will we see Pandamine going in for another shot? Will he join the party soon? Which looks like it. Some good racing, good clean racing thus far. And we see now Laurens taking that inside line. We jump on board with Cole Atkins, and they are punting away quite nicely for that race lead, as now Pandamine is joining the party for a freeweight fight for the league, Nick.
6 for 3 it is in the lead. That's Laurens Andringa. Cole Atkins now in second, and he's spinning Andringa
around!
Oh
no, he's gone, and he did such a good job, but he's now spun out of the lead of the race, and it's now down to Pandamine and Cole Atkins for the race lead.
Third place now is your heat number 1 winner. It's Peter Shaw. Can he close the gap to the 2 leaders? Then we've got Slibioda in 4th and Samson in 5th. Jeremy van der Kratz is trying to make his way through the pack already. He's doing quite a good job. Despite Casey Eggleston is in last place at the moment, the red top driver. So he is not really making any ground whatsoever at the moment.
But still a great job as Meany now takes the inside line of Cole Atkins and takes up first place in heat number 3 when we are halfway through the race, Nick.
Pandamine takes up the lead in this heat number 3 with Atkins in second. And look at Peter Shaw. He's doing everything to catch up towards the leaders. 399 though, still on the back bumper of 140 as they come between some back marker traffic now. 221 Kingwell is slowing down Meany there, and he comes looking at saying with the bumper from back down.
Oh no, but he's still there. As we look behind him, we see Peter Shaw slowly catching up to the front pack.
It is now Meany still leading the way, despite he is stuck in some back marker traffic there. Behind the 221 of Kingwell. Second is Atkins, but right on his rear tail is Peter Shaw in 134, trying to spin Atkins round. And he is going for second place now.
Yes,
Huge bumper goes in.
Him. What a great action by Peter Shaw. He's put him wide and he's now got a clear way of trying to catch up with Pandamine. Peter Shaw is doing another good job, isn't he, in this race?
Peter Shaw now trying to close up to the leader, who is still stuck behind Kingwell. This could actually become a really good race. Meany still in the lead with 5 laps to run this time in car number 140, but he's still behind at 221 as he gets stuck there with Keegan Sampson. That slowed the 140 further down. Can Peter Shaw close the gap and take the second heat running? Keegan Sampson is now in between there.
Yeah, we are slowly looking, but it's Jeremy van der Kratz up in 5th. But an 8-second lead does Pandamine have over him. So that's quite a good job, because he's got a half lap advantage. Another race where the lower grade drivers pull away quite cleanly, and he's doing a very, very steady job.
As Peter Shaw got a little bit stuck there on the Keegan Sampson car. And 140 Meany has now made it past the 221. So clean way now for Meany in the 140. Despite John Kingwell is trying to come in with a bumper there. Misses though. So Meany looks quite safe there going into the last lap. 140 the lead. 134 is second. Then it's Atkins. Then it's Slibioda, the man who's making his debut tonight. Not going too badly in 4th place.
As we see Laurens Andringa now having a good battle with Zach Gilmore and Casey Eggleston. And Zach... Dempry, yes. And who else is in a higher car? I can't see. As Zach Gilmore goes across... Oh!
Slibioda got taken out there on the last bend from Jeremy van der Kratz and finishes in 5th. And Meany takes the checkered flag at the end of the day in car number 140. What a race there from Andrew Meany. Second goes to Peter Shaw. So a really good show from 134 there. Despite he is not able to take the victory the second time in a row, but first and second will do him for the World Championship qualifying rounds, and especially for the grid later on for the Euromaster.
Mr. Nick.
Mr. Kevin.
Sorry, you fell away for a couple of seconds in Discord, having a bit of lag trouble. Can you give us a run through of the results in this one, Nick?
Of course I can. The winner of this one was 140, Andrew Mean. Second went to Peter Shaw in 134. Third went to Cole Atkins in the 399, followed by Jeremy van der Kratz, who finished fourth in Cardinal H16. Fifth went to German driver Slebioda in the 189. Doing a very good job in this one as well, finishing fifth in his first online meeting on RFAC. Sixth went to a very unlucky Lawrence Andringo, who was fighting really well for the lead of the race, but then got spun around by Atkins at the end of the day. Still finishing sixth, so well in the points. Seventh went to Zach Gilmore in the 122. Casey Angleston has secured himself an eighth place after a really bad start into this heat number 3. Julian Smith, the heat 2 winner, finished in 9th, and 10th was Will Brazier in 340.
I'm all for action and big crashes and unexpected race wins, but I think the racing we've seen thus far, Nick, has been clean and very good. I actually felt like I was watching a real life meeting for once, rather than cars rolling over and crashing everywhere. I mean, saloons can be like that, but let us know, guys, what did you think of that racing? And I see people congratulating Pete Shaw again for his drive in that one, and it was definitely a very good drive, as we are now getting ready for heat number 4. And I think Andrew Mean will be very happy with that race win, which was deserved after he was long-time leader in heat number 2 and didn't manage to make it. As Mr. DJ is about to get ready to play some more music, isn't he, Nick?
A little bit of multitasking there, of course, commenting towards the racing and also doing the music. But anyway, the same counts for you.
I mean, we don't even speak our mother language, and then we are multitasking as it is, and we are only men, aren't we? So we can try and push and do two things at once, but usually ends up very bad.
did you want to say that you want a woman as a partner?
I'd like
as a commentating partner.
I would like a woman as a partner. Yes, commentator partner. I don't care that much. No, it's been fun having speaking to you that much lately, Nick. I mean, we've made some new friends the last couple of weeks, haven't we? We're getting the games ready and communicating in Discord and having fun while practicing all the time. I mean, it's good fun. And yeah, that makes us pretty much ready for the 4th heat already, Nick, as we are about an hour into the stream, and I think our race admins have been doing a very good job of clearing the dead cars and everyone repairing and refueling their cars within a couple of minutes.
Really good job by both of them, keeping everything running. And I think we are up to a really good speed now. Getting everything... I mean, it took us a good few meetings to be that fast at getting everything going and to sort everything out, but I mean, as I already said earlier in this stream, the drivers really learn a lot, so do we, so everything is going and working and running a lot better now than it was.
As we are jumping on board, and I think I'll give the people that know the Posterholt track a little tour of how well it's been recreated. As we are looking at the pit gate, the famous pit gate that has been taken out in the past.
The Broodje Knak pitgate.
The Broodje Knak pitgate. The Mr. Duivenkak Lasser. As we are now lining up for heat number 4 of the afternoon.
Heat 4 it is already. A bigger turnout once again. Looks like about 22 cars once again for heat number 4. We've seen some seriously good racing tonight, so I am happy to see the drivers doing so well.
So we have another 163 people with us still after an hour of talking rubbish about a computer game. It's good to see so many people interested for us. We are following Mr. Ryan Wright. I think he will I mean, I've been speaking and practicing together. I mean, even I do some practice racing, even though I don't even race the evening myself. But Ryan has been very, very hard on himself because he felt like the pace wasn't there, and he's even been trying left foot braking, Nick, in the saloon stock car.
Was
Can
he?
you imagine? Yes.
So you better does not get spun round because he won't be on the clutch on time.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you already said, Kevin, it's really good to meet everyone up again. So many new faces, new people, new voices. We have met the last few weeks. And that's what stock car racing is also about, isn't it? It's not just about the racing, but also about the social side, especially over here in Holland, with all the weekends, with all the barbecue and drinking going on in the pits after the meetings.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really good.
And that's why we were so gutted at the Euromaster weekend. Like, I think Matt Sterling sent you a message, didn't he? Saying earlier this week he should have been on the ferry coming over to Holland. So I really hope whenever we get back to racing in Holland, we do get the drivers that wanted to get over still come over for this meeting, or whatever meeting we'll have over in Holland, as we are looking now at the young guns of the sport, Warren Darby and Rowan Van Eye, who hopefully will lead the saloon stocker class into a future path. And Nick, I mean, the Youth is very important, and so it is on this online game. So wonder what they can do in this race, as Mr. DJ plays the rolling lap music again.
It's time for heat number 4 of tonight. 20 cars out there. Spot on, 20 cars. As Peter Lowe and Mikey Ross-Marlin lead them away. Jamie Sampson, Darren Turner and Clark Wells are rounding up the white tops.
I think Jamie has got a good chance of winning this one.
He was doing well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was doing very well. I think he's got a good chance, as Mr. Pacecar seems to have fallen asleep again.
He's been watching too much of the Sandman, probably.
As we are now underway and racing for heat number 4.
Lowe gets a quite good start there and is off and away in first place. Mikey Ross-Marlin gets a good bumper there already from Darren Turner, who's around. Darren Turner went around, just a Samson and a huge pile up there in the Broadje Knack turn.
And it was Jamie Sampson thinking he was driving a lawnmower in that first bend. He decided to cut off the track.
Oh my goodness me, you've got a rollover, Kevin!
Well,
Johnny Wood just went over there.
As we see Atkins spin in, we see Warren Darby on the infield cutting grass as well, and we see Peter Lowe with a pretty big lead.
Second now is Mikey Ross-Marlin. Third is Clark Wells. Then it's Bart Wouters, Jamie Sampson 5th, Darren Turner. Charlie Lobb is the first red top in 7th place already, so he got through that traffic quite well, through that carnage quite well. But look at the back of the field, Kevin, where everyone is still keeps fighting for like 10th place, driving as if they would fight for the world final.
Oh, and we see the leaders going round. And we now see Jamie Sampson up in 3rd, and that was Clark Wells, who was in 3rd before, spinning out and losing a lot of positions around there.
That means Jamie Sampson's now up to 3rd place in 149. Darren Turner 4th, Charlie Lopp in 5th already. But a huge gap to Peter Lowe, who is pulling away at the front. And here goes Batshagen! And
and it's now Mikey Ross-Marlin in the lead, Nick. The leader has been taken out by a back marker.
Pete Lowe goes in with a huge bumper once again. And he's gone around. Peter Lowe from 2nd place, just gone around. That means Jamie Sampson makes it up to 2nd place. Darren Turner in 3rd and Charlie Lopp 4th.
Jamie is being punted wide by Darren. And yes, that means that it's Darren now up in 2nd place. Jamie in 3rd and Charlie Lopp in 4th. Oh, Jamie tries to cut the grass again. And Darren Turner goes round.
Jamie Sampson keeps himself going in 2nd place. So here comes Wouters and Lopp. Look at that fight for 2nd place. As Wouters now goes up the inside of Lopp and Sampson for 2nd place. All of them 3 together now. Lopp is going in that turn. Wouters goes a little bit wide. Look at that. Lopp pushing around Wouters now for 2nd place. Here comes the bumper from 980 now. Up the inside into 2nd place with Wouters now 3rd and Sampson 4th. This all is doing a good job for Mikey Ross-Mallon, who's now got a 4-second lead to the second place man, Charlie Lobb. Can Ross-Mallon bring this over the line? What do you think, Kevin?
He's got such a good advantage, and as we jump on board with him, the first driver we see is Darren Turner spinning onto the infield. He's got a half lap advantage, a half straight advantage over the next car in front of him. So he's got a really big gap, but it's only 3 seconds still. I think Charlie has got the pace advantage, and he's got 3 or 4 more laps to make up with him, but there's 4 back markers in between them. As we jump on board with Bart Wouters, and he's trying to keep up with Charlie, but I think he's a little bit quicker than him.
Lobb now doing his best to close the gap up. And Van Eyck on the bumper of Ross-Mallon, and he slowed Ross-Mallon down. Look at Van Eyck going with the bumper. Slowed Ross-Mallon a lot down, and here comes 980 goes up the inside into the lead.
It's now Charlie Lobb in the lead. Will Mikey try and get back at him?
Here he comes now in with the bumper. 980 in the wall. Here comes Wouters now as well, up the inside. 400 of Ross-Mallon.
It's a three-way fight for the lead again, Nick. Oh my days. Will Bart Wouters try and get back at Charlie? Charlie has pulled a gap already. That was quite good. Well done by him. As well, I think we are in the last lap of the race now, aren't we?
Last lap it is for 980. Charlie Lobb. 868 is second. I don't think he can do any much more than for second. Even Ross-Mallon's not going in for a bumper there. Just securing third place, but look at the fight for fourth place between Sterling, Wright, Sampson and Piercy. Wright secures fourth place in this one, just in front of Matt Sterling. Sixth went to Jamie Sampson, well done to him as well. Piercy takes seventh, Robin van Brank 8th, Hardy Velleman 9th and Craig Banwell 10th. Another really good race from all the drivers.
Yes, and what a great job by Wouters and Mikey. And I thought that was going to be a big last bend lunch, but I think Mr. Bart Wouters and Mikey were thinking of the long run. Do I risk spinning myself on this last bend lunch, or do I take these points for the final lineup?
But that also means we've just seen the first red grade winner of today's racing. Charlie Lobb in car number 980 takes the victory from Bart Wouters in second in 868. Then it was Mikey Ross-Mallon in 400. Ryan Wright taken fourth in 153. Matt Sterling was in fifth in 747. Then it was Jamie Sampson in 149. Piercy in number 23 takes seventh. Robin van Brank 8th. Hardy Velleman 9th and Craig Banwell 10th.
Great race, and yes, I am really surprised by the good racing we've seen. Did you see that three-way fight for the lead at some point by Charlie, Bart Wouters and Mikey Ross-Mallon? That was really good. Punting each other wide, taking up the inside line, doing the switchback move on each other, and Charlie came away the quickest and as the quickest driver, and he showed he is a worthy red top driver in our E-Series.
As the DJ is doing his job again. A little bit of music between them, Heat 4 and Heat 5. Let's take a look into the chat. Let's see what everyone is saying.
Stanley Buddha says, "Wann ich tanke, dann nur bei Loeff."
Which means as much as when I fill in petrol, I'm just doing that at Loeff. Yeah, obviously my dad's sponsoring tonight's meeting. I think one of the most famous saloon names from over here, over in England, after he has done so many years over in the UK, racing full seasons over there with like 15 meetings a year, 15 trips over. A really cool time, to be fair. I really enjoyed that as a, 8 or 9 year old.
So have you got plans of being the most famous Belgian driver, Nick, being called Nick Anderson?
Yeah, it's quite funny because some people just call me the Dutch speaking German with a Belgian family name, which is really complicated, but it's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good fun. As we see people joining the server again, we see Rob Stewart out there, Remco, Mr. Crash Kid van Wezel, Johnny Wood, Peter Shaw is going out again in this one for his third race, and I think he is the first driver in our E-Series that has got a chance of doing the, what's it called in English? The hat-trick, of course. The hat-trick of 3 out of 3 in the heats. Do you think he's gonna manage it?
You never know. But do you talk about Peter Shaw?
Yes, Peter Shaw, yes.
Yeah, he took second in one heat, didn't he? I don't think he won. He won it.
Oh, that's bad. Tonight's been too exciting. I can't.
Anyway.
Enough rambling on again. I think we need the meeting admins to have the next race lined up because it's a lot of rubbish. As we see, I can't see who's replied it, saying you're South African, don't lie. And I think that comment is coming from either Jake Swan or Craig Mammal.
Probably.
As we still have 140 people with us this night, Nick. And let us know in the comments if anyone's got a favorite for the final already. Let us know what you think is going to take that Euromaster Championship final home. As we see Jan, our pace car driver, calling out Heat 5, ready to go. I think it's Heat 5, isn't it?
It is. So even our admins are a little bit getting a little bit confused.
As Nige Thomas is saying he crashed out of Heat 3 when because what people don't really realize sometimes that sometimes your game crashes or the game glitches out at the start of a race, and when they miss their selected heat, we'll let them make up in another race, don't we? Because we don't want to make our drivers who've put in the effort of turning up tonight miss out races because of a game glitch. As we see the cars joining the track now, as I forgot to put the the scene on for the stream, I have now, so everyone can actually see what's going on. Who's your favorite for this one, Nick?
I first have to check who's in here. Let me take a look. I'd go for... I'm quite surprised about Kenny Wagemann's not doing any good so far tonight. He was doing very, very well in all the 4 country battles and some other races as well, but not seen much of him today. I'll just say it's going to be a surprise winner now. Kenny Wagemann's pulling something out of his head now.
I'm going for... let's have a look who we've got out there. Peter Shaw, but he can be called a favorite now, can't he? I'm gonna call a weird one, Nick. Laurens Andringa has been doing well so far.
I would wish he's going to get a good position in this one.
Yeah.
He's improved very well, and is now on the front row, inside.
As we see next to him, Mr... who is it? Mr. Stewart out there, Jamie Sampson. Who's that? Oh, Sleepy Yoda is out in the Samsung hire car as well. If Lee is watching, this is a sign. He needs to get out there as well in this game, because everyone's running away with the glory of his hire car, isn't he, Nick?
I just think he should give us 200 quid straight away for putting his car in this game and giving some advertisements.
Yeah, all the advertisement. As we see, last race winner Charlie Lopp out there with Jeremy van der Kratz lining up and rounding off the grid for the red tops in this race. Will Brazy
20 cars.
20 cars. Remco van Wezel, Craig Bamwell, like you said, Kenny Wagemans. He's a dark horse for this one, I think, because he's not performed as good as he would have hoped to, but he might make up for it in this race. As we are ready for Heat 5, the second to last heat before our big Euromaster Championship final.
So then, it looks like everyone is lined up for that heat number 5. As Jan Hartsbecker now making his way to the front as the pace car driver. Rolling lap tune is on, and we're ready for heat number 5 of tonight's Euromaster Championship qualifying. Oh, that tune is just, it's something else, isn't it?
It gives me goosebumps.
It's so good.
I've tried explaining some girl I was talking to about this song saying, "What does it give you goosebumps?" I said, "Swinging Safari," and I played it. And I'll have you to know that I ended up being single quite soon after that.
I am engaged with my stock house, so that doesn't happen.
As Mr. Crab pace car driver now goes and nearly gets spun out by the lead driver as we are underway for E5.
And it's Lauren's Underinger now in the lead. Here comes Stuart though, up the inside of 633, and look at that! He tried to not get spun round and hit the wall quite hard.
Massive tank slapper.
Let's hope the 633 of Lauren's Underinger is not goes to that lead. Oh my goodness! All the white tops going in, and look who's coming up on the lead. It's Peter Shaw. No, sub by sub.
Oh no! He's got Rowan Fenhey.
Oh.
Oh, and Will Brazier catches onto him, and that's his chances of winning this race gone. And we see Mr. Big Shot Van Eye going in for a punt on Mr. Stewart, and they are going side by side down the home straight for the lead of this race.
Big pile up once again in turn number 3 and 4 there, as Van Eye now goes into the bumper into Stewart for the lead of this race. Van Eye going up the inside, taking up the lead, but Rod Stewart is not giving up without a fight. Here he comes back up the inside. So that is really doing a favour to Wouters and Nigel Thomas, who are also involved into a fight for third place, but they still try to make up some ground on the leaders. Van Eye now going into turn 1. Look at 3, sorry. Slibby Yoda rejoining the action just in front of him. He goes white once again. Look at that fight, and we've got the top 4 all in one picture now.
What a great fight by Stewart and Van Eye. A lot of clean racing. Good job by all of them. As we are now going free right down the back straight for the lead of the race. And are they going in for a punt? Yes, they are. But no. Oh, that's Stewart gone. As you said that, commentator curse, Nick, Stewart has been spun out of the lead. As we are now joining on board with Nigel Thomas, who is trying to catch up with Rowan Van Eye, who is leading the way comfortably thus far. But I'm looking down and I see Jeremy van der Kratz up in 5th already, and Patrick Rutters up in 4th. As Van Eye gets put wide by a back marker, and Nigel Thomas has even more clear way of trying to catch up with him.
Here he goes now! Thomas tried to put the back marker into Van Eye, but the back marker slightly spun round.
And look for the battle for third place, Nick. Look at it. A 4-way battle for third place in this race. As we see Mr. Crash Kid going on for a shot. Patrick Rutters is going wide. And it's now Remco van Wezel leading the way on a pack of cars. Fighting for that podium place in third
place. Good racing from all of them there. Four cars side by side. Look at that. Down on the home straight. There they go, and it's Van Wezel now. Trying to go up the inside, but Van der Kratz goes in the wall very hard. Wouters goes up the inside, makes up the place and goes around. And Johnny Bell as well.
Charlie
into the view of cars.
Oh, what good racing this has been so far, and they are showing it again. As what is Craig Benwell? Oh no, Craig Benwell gets spun into the grass, and he's making a nice little donut on the infield. Let's have a look what's happening down the lead of this race. That we see Rowan Van Eye with a 3-second lead, Nick.
He's leading it now from 642. Nigel Thomas, Jeremy van der Kratz making his way through all the carnage. Now up to third place. Can he get Nigel Thomas to get that second place? I think the leader will be a little too far away as long as nothing happens. As it's 2 laps to run for the leader. Van Eye in the lead. Then it's Nigel Thomas. Jeremy van der Kratz third. Patrick Rutters 4th. And Geronimo in 5th. Lee Pierce, the 1300cc World Champion, not doing bad now. Going up the inside of Geronimo. Trying to get that 5th place in this race. As Van Eye is now in the last lap. Nigel Thomas still quite confident in front of Jeremy van der Kratz. I don't think anything will happen between them top 3. As they now all go through the final bend.
As Rowan Van Eye taking the race win.
Second goes to Nigel Thomas in 642. Third is Jeremy van der Kratz in H16. Patrick Rutters takes 4th. So quite a steady last few laps there. But a really good drive as well from Rowan Van Eye.
What did you think of that race, Nick? We've seen some great racing for the lead, haven't we? And I feel like since the pace is quite similar to everyone around here, is once you pull away from the pack, it's like what's it called in England in English? Cycling. Breaking away from the pack, you get a clearer run of making it pulling a gap to the rest of the field. But Rowan did a very good job, and I think after all the effort and racing every week, this has been the first race win for Rowan, hasn't it? In online.
I'm not too sure actually. I can remember that he might have won a heat, but that is quite a few meetings ago now. So Ben I did really well in this one. Congrats off to him. Doing very well for once, not just at putting his bumper in, but also at driving fast. So congrats to Rowan Van Eye taking this heat number 5. Nigel Thomas takes second in 6.42. Third was Jeremy van der Kratz in H16. Fourth was Patrick Rutters in 4.24. Then it was Geronimo in 5.27 in 5th. PSC, the 1300cc world champion, takes 6th in car number 23. 7th was Charlie Loeff, your heat number 4 winner, in car number 980. 8th was Kenny Wagemans in H112. Remco van Wezel finished in 9th place in car number 18. And Bart Wouters finished up, or rounded up, the top 10 in 10th place.
I am pretty excited by the racing we've been shown thus far this evening, Dick. It's been very, very good. Some very clean racing and some good battles for the lead. And just a shame I enjoyed the last couple of weeks where we had a surprise winner at the end of the race most of the times. But we can't ask for that every week, can we? But I think our drivers have shown some pretty entertaining stuff this evening. As we see people congratulating Rowan on that. That was a very steady, good race win. And I think we've seen some people in here in the last race, Nick, that after their career of racing saloon stock cars, they could always sign up at the football club and sort out their grass.
So they played a little bit of lawnmower, farming simulator. No,
R-Factor/Farming Simulator 2020.
Yeah, they all think they are sitting on their tractors. I thought that was a job for Formula 1 stockhouse, but anyway.
It was Craig Benwell on his combiner doing mad spins on the infield. As we see drivers joining the server for our last heat of the evening, heat number 6. It's Darren Turner coming back, Bas Hagen coming in again. Keegan Sampson going in for another race. I wonder, I haven't really kept track of the points so far, but I feel like that Peter Shaw, Nigel Thomas, Charlie Loeff and Jeremy are going to be very near the front in the final grid.
I mean, it's always the red tops that are the favourites, aren't they? But in that race, everything can happen, I'd say. Especially around here, if you break free, I mean, we've got Peter Shaw in a good position, I would reckon. We've got Rowan Van Eye up there, probably, with this race win. So, if they can break free from the rest of the pack, it's going to be a hard race for the red tops or for the favourites.
If any, have you seen the Facebook live stream by any chance, Nick? They are subtitling our English, and I don't know whether the Facebook subtitles are bad or our pronunciation is really bad, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of that. As we are getting ready for heat number 6, and I'm not sure who's in there, but I think we see Pandemine out there again. We see Casey Engelston out there again. Ian McLaughlin. I think Ian finished quite well in one of the heats. He was in the battle for 5th or 6th, but I haven't seen him as near to the grid as we've seen him before when we went around when he got a podium finish at what was it again? Nuts Corner, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
As we get some music going once again for the rest of the time until we are ready to go for heat number 6.
And my voice, I need a drink soon. I think probably before the final, because I think we've wrecked our voices quite a lot yet, but I think there's more to come in the big 25 lap final, and I'm really starting to buzz to see who qualifies to the front and who's gonna take away that final prize. And let us know, what is your dad actually sponsoring for the final winner this time around, Nick?
It is 5 liters of racing oil for your race engine. So with us being a petrol station selling oil, and that would have been the nearest thing for us to do. So we are happy to give that towards the DSCDA and towards the drivers during that time, and we'll see who takes that victory home.
Yeah, definitely. I also see our friend Pauline Jeffrey saying you had cows going around the track instead of cars. That is definitely true. Cheers. As my family member who has been watching the stream downstairs brings me a drink after I mentioned
wow.
my voice.
Wow, what a service. What
That's
a
some service.
And I can't find the server once again.
Yeah,
oh no.
I got kicked, yes. I'll have a look on the thingy. If you can ramble on about something, I will have a quick look online if I can fix it quickly.
Yep. So a little bit of difficulties with the server tonight. Don't know what's going on there, but we hope to get it sorted as soon as possible. Unfortunately, one of the things we are not into. We can just do our best to fix it in the short enough time and the little period of time we have. Anyway, with all the people going on the server and off again, it is hard for the server to keep going. It's hard work with them with that amount of drivers. But I really trust in Kevin that he gets everything up and running once again.
And once again, I show to be a very trustworthy person, because I've got some good news. Our Crashy server is back online and running.
So basically, your banger is pulled again and ready to go.
Yes, a bonger. Don't get me wrong.
A bonger.
As I am quickly enjoying my water that has my mum has kindly brought me after complaining on stream about my voice getting lost. And thank you for all the people that are still with us. 1.5 hours into this. One heat left and then the final. No all-comers or anything tonight, just the main final, and then we'll be done for the evening. So please stay with us to see who's taking that the prize of racing engine oil. Racing oil. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we'll take the prize home this evening, sponsored by Loeff Tankstelle. As we see the drivers joining the server again after it crashed for a little while. And who's your favorite for this one then, Nick?
Oh, you're asking me questions. Casey Engelston. After being a little bit unlucky in the first heats, I think Casey can maybe make it to the front of this one. Let's hope.
I see, as we're talking about it, Nick, Matt Sterling joining the server. My shout for this one is going to be Matt Sterling winning it.
He's been doing very well in practice as well.
It is worth mentioning that he is still racing on a keyboard. A lot of drivers have invested their money that their partners, their wives, their children expected to be putting into the household, but no, they've decided to buy racing wheels for the computer instead. And no, he's still racing on keys, and you know all about it. That's very hard, and he's very quick with them. So fair play to him, and I really hope he finishes well in this one. As we see 20 cars in the server now, so I think we are waiting for 1 or 2 more for this race, as our splits were made up in tens, with a 40 plus in total. There was supposed to be about 20 cars in each race. Who are now there? Baron Terpstra was the last one to join. Robin van Brenk is in here as well, and we are ready for the last qualifying heat.
So then we start skipping sessions now. Getting ready for the last heat. And what a evening it has been once again. Already. Good racing, good clean racing by everyone. Drivers really are improving.
Yeah, definitely, and they are improving like in massive amounts as well. Because I mean, the racing has just been very good. I mean, if the graphics would be like realistic, you would think you would be looking at a real life race. It felt like, doesn't it? I mean, as in just.
Warren was a derby saying 153 Nick had weapon for final. I'll have to say that I won't enter the final, so sorry for that.
As I saw our race admin getting kicked from the server for some reason, so we are waiting till the pace car has fired up again for him to join and lead our way to the last race of the qualifying heats thus far, as we are looking at some people practicing. Darren Atkins and Cole Atkins are, by the way, out in the same car, so that's kind of confusing, but I think we'll make it work.
Alright, looks like everything is set for heat number 6 now.
Yeah, we were just waiting for Nigel Thomas to join back in.
Johnny Wood is the one we are missing for heat number 6, so...
As we're having a little look through the crowd who's here today. Have you ever had a look at who's in the crowd on around Posterholt? Do you recognize anyone?
Not yet, no.
I think he used to be my school teacher. Let's have a look.
Alright, Johnny Wood is back. So, here comes the call from race admin. Heat number 6 is.
As Johnny says, cheers for waiting. No worries, my friends. We all appreciate every single driver that is out there for us, wasting their free and precious spare time to race online for us. So thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate it. So we are waiting for the green light of our race admins to get people lined up in their grades for the last qualifying heat of this evening.
Drivers line up in their grades for the last time tonight. The final, of course, a closed grid race.
As we are looking at our friend Zach Gilmore lining up, Matt Sterling lining up, Hendrik Vellema lining up, Ian McLaughlin and Remco van Wezel. I mean, isn't that quite a something? The chances of them all racing together in real life are quite small, but it's good to see them out all together on this game, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it all also connects the different countries, of course. I mean, it's a lot easier to race against Northern Irish drivers for his Dutch online than it is in real life. Quite a few miles to cover before we can do that. But anyway, our plan is to go to Ireland to race there at some point as well, because it was always a thing we wanted to do to support Northern Ireland. But of course, it is quite a far trip. So at some point we will do that. We had a lot of plans for this year to go over to the UK and race there. But anyway, we'll try to do it all next year. Or the season after, or maybe the season after.
Or maybe the season after.
That. I don't know.
Either way, you'll be there. You're a young lad, so you've got some racing in your left. As we see Casey Engelston doing the little practice of warming up his tires before the race. Ryan Wrightson here as well, and I think Ryan, as he has been in the all the finals before, isn't it, Nick? That he did not win a single race, maybe not even had a top 3 in any single race. I mean, of the qualifying heats, but he still managed to pull off a race win or final win. I mean, when it matters, so maybe he will be able to do it again.
Let's hope so for Ryan. It is time to play the rolling lap tune. Heat number 6 is now in the rolling lap.
As Mr. Lawnmower Jan Hartsbecker, alias Race Admin, is leading the pack again. As we are up and underway for heat number 6, the last qualifying race of our evening.
Darren Turner gets a good start in car number 379. Atkins goes in with a bumper there. The spins around Turner. A huge pile-up already in turn number 1 and 2. Look at Hagen. Look at Warren Darby spun around. But Robin van Brank has a really good start. He's been putting some serious good lap times. So he's maybe one of the favourites for this heat number 6 as well. Going up on the inside of Darren Turner now into 6th place in these early stages.
On my screen, the server's having a bit of a problem. I don't know how it is for you.
It's looking fine to me at the moment.
Oh, that's weird.
What's the issue?
It's lagging a little bit, so I can't really follow. The people can't really see what's happening because are disappearing and appearing. So
I'll try to tell the people what's going on though. Atkins is now in the lead in 399. Pete Lowe is in second. Keegan Sampson keeps himself going in third. Here comes Robin van Brank now though with a huge bumper there, going up to 4th place already. So Robin van Brank really making some progress now. Stewart is now in 5th, going in with a bumper. Huge pile up there in turn 1 and 2, including Keegan Sampson, Stewart, Darren Turner, and Robin van Brank, who now dropped down to 6th once again after that huge bumper from Keegan Sampson. Sampson now on the wall once again. Robin van Brank makes it up to 4th place as Atkins is leading it away at the front. Pete Lowe trying to keep up with him. What a fight it is for 3rd place there between Stewart, Turner, van Brank and Sampson. All 4 still together. Atkins is in the lead. Now fighting with Pete Lowe. Lowe up the inside of Atkins. What a fight as well for the lead. 399 goes back in with a bumper. Lowe takes the wall. Side by side they go now down the back straight. As 399 maybe has a little bit of more effort to put the bumper in, although 631's got the pace advantage. Side by side they go once again. And it looks like you're still not going very well, Kevin, are you?
No, that's for some reason I am having big lag trouble. So I'm really sorry for all the people who are watching. I will try and have a restart after this. I don't know what's wrong, but keep going with your commentary. We'll have to listen to that to think of what's going on.
Let's hope it's better for the final. Still a really good fight for between 399 and 631. Still swapping places every turn. It is a really good race with Robin van Brank now in 3rd place, trying to make up the gap to the 2 leaders. 631 it is. Low in the lead. Now passing some back markers. Passing Bas Hagen in car number 8. 399 still on his rear bumper, but he's made up a little bit of a gap now. That should be enough to not be in a catchable distance for 399 to put the bumper in. So Pete Lowe now leading the way in 631, opening a little bit of a gap to 399 Atkins. 3rd is now Robin van Brank, and Ryan Wright, as you already said, Kevin, is now in 4th place. Zach Gilmore's now in 5th. Then it's Rod Stewart in the 993. Darren Turner 7th. Howdy Velema 8th. Andrew Meany is 9th. And Keegan Sampson keeps himself going in 10th. But it is the Scottish driver Pete Lowe in 631 in the lead, passing Matt Sterling and Casey Engelston now. Both of them, of course, red top drivers getting lapped now in this heat number 6. Nigel Thomas is involved into a fight there with Remco van Wezel. All of them. Oh my goodness me! Huge follow in there from Sterling, Thomas, Angleston, and van Wezel. And Peterlo has to try and not get involved into that trouble now. One lap he has to manage to survive with Atkins in second, Robin van Brink in third, Ryan Wright in fourth. Here comes Lowe now, getting a huge bumper though, and the back markers take him out on the last lap. He rides the wall though and makes it over the line. Sterling and Thomas tried to take out Lowe there on the last bend from a lap down. They couldn't manage to do so. 6-3-1 Lowe takes the victory from Atkins second. Robin van Brink takes third. Brian Wright takes fourth. Zach Gilmore fifth. Stewart sixth. Hardy Velema seventh. Darren Turner eighth. Meany ninth. And Ian McLaughlin takes a 10th place in this heat number 6. Some more of really good racing there. Shame you couldn't see that, Kevin, but I've tried my best to let the people know what was going on in this heat number 6.
Yes, we did see some of it, but cars kept disappearing and appearing, so I don't know what's wrong. Give me 5 minutes to quickly restart the game. I don't know what went wrong. Sorry for that, everyone who was watching, but I hope Nick did a good job of telling what happened and me somewhat showing you what was going on. But we are sadly restricted to some technology we can't control other than hitting a restart button. So sorry, we are trying our best, and I will give the server a quick restart. And hoping that I will be sorted for the final, because I hope we can properly show you what is going on in that final. As we are now waiting for our race admins to give away the lineup for the grid for the Euromaster Championship final, Nick. As I think we are waiting for Mr. DJ to play a tune.
Yeah, we will. Let's sort the little tune out. Here we go.
Yes.
That sounds a lot better, doesn't it? Anyway. Now it is busy time for the race control, trying to sort out the grid for the Euromaster 2020. I'm really looking forward to who is going to be on front row for this one. It's been a really mixed meeting. A lot of lower graders taking victories, a lot of surprising winners. So I'm really looking forward to who's going to be on front row and who is going to be where on that grid. Maybe we can also talk about what is going on in real life at the moment. Real life racing. As Fenray has posted some really good news this week, saying that the saloons have been invited in for 2 more meetings during the winter period. They will run run a longer racing season this year, and we were invited to race a weekend on Boxing Day and the 27th of December at Van Ray. So all English drivers, of course, also invited to that one. We had about 25 interested Dutch drivers for that meeting, so I'm quite sure we should have a really good turnout for that meeting. A good weekend at Van Ray, a really clean venue. So it would be good to see any visitors over for that meeting as well, with Arlington on the Monday. So that would make a good trip, wouldn't it, Kevin?
Yes, definitely. And I mean, we are having fun with this, and we appreciate every single person who's watching, driving, racing, putting effort in. But we want to see the real life racing back on. And as soon that happens, we need to support our local tracks, support our organizations, support our beloved saloon stock car class on its own. Support each other in where we can, so we can get racing back on and no one has to lose out on this bad situation as we have. So I think we should all the money we've saved during this pandemic time.
Spend it in stock cars. Just buy stock cars.
Yeah,
And go racing.
buy them everywhere. No, but I mean, you get the point I'm trying to make. Is that we just want racing to go back as it's been before, or even better when we can. And that's why we are very excited to make plans of racing, even though we are not fully sure when we can again. Is that we need every single short oval or speedway lover to come and watch us in real life as well when we are back on, and hopefully invest some money and keep the organizations going. As we are getting our remember, Nick, we need to run our wildcard, don't we, for the final? So we still are waiting for the we are waiting for the grid for the final.
So we are waiting for that to happen now. Admin's busy to calculate the grid.
Not only is he a good racer, is he a race admin, he's also a mathematic, Mr. Jeremy van der Crash. Or is it Mr. Lawnmower Jan Hartsbecker doing the calculations tonight?
I think they're both sharing the work, to be fair. It is a lot of work to run them meetings, so
and
it's good to have two admins.
we are a good sign of English. Oh, I mean English. I mean of Dutch and German people working together. But I've got some conversations with Nick and Jan trying to work together as a Dutchman who doesn't speak German and a German who doesn't really speak Dutch. It is pretty interesting, isn't it, Nick? But I mean, they're still doing a good job, aren't they? So I'm excited to see who's on the front row this one, and hopefully this time round my game won't mess about and we can actually see what's going on. As I'm very sorry for in that last race, and it's the first time it's happened since our E-Series, so I'm not really sure what went wrong there.
So people already saying Warren Darby to get taken out. So the chat is pretty much going mad once again, sending us reactions of what is going on, which I really like. Once again, people watching from both Holland and England. So we're getting a lot of messages from all of them.
So I'll give everyone, whilst we are waiting, a little tour guide round our beloved pastoral track. If people do decide to come over for whenever we are racing next year. This is the track entrance, which has been modeled really well. And this is where you enter the track, as we are looking at Cole Atkins going on. And it's a really nice facility, isn't it, Nick? As we spoke about earlier, is that it's a really good looking track, and the guys who've remade this or modeled it have done a really good job of recreating it. As we're having a quick look at the people getting their final practice laps in for our Euromaster Open Championship final.
Yes, they made a really good job at it. I mean, they even made the entrance house and everything for it, so it really looks good. Good track as well. Maybe not. I mean, you always have to think about the fact that a club is running this, not a promoter, like a person that owns the place. So they're really doing their best at keeping the track nice and tiny.
Yes, but if this would have been real life and Craig Benwell would have been playing tractor and doing donuts on the infield, I think they would have had a hard time of keeping that grass as nice as it is online. Have you had word from our race admins yet, or are they still busy trying to make up?
It looks like they're still busy. Not heard anything as of yet. I mean, it takes its time, especially with 6 seats, so a lot of points to be
yes, definitely.
handed out.
As I might ask our watchers, let us know in the comments who do you think is your favorite for the final. Who's your favorite for the final, Nick? I mean, we haven't seen the lineup yet, but from what I've seen and what I can remember from the results in the heats is that Peter Shaw is a really good shot of winning it tonight, and he's an underdog, isn't he? I mean, can you imagine Peter Shaw as a pretty much a rookie on this game, winning a final, and after doing so well in the qualifying heats.
It would be quite surprising, Kevin, but anyway, the chances are there for all of the drivers, so I wouldn't mind it, to be fair. I would like to see underdog winning a championship.
As we are just looking at everyone on the server having their practice laps in, and Rowan Venai is back to World Games, doing follow-ins every bend.
He's back to his old nature.
Yeah, as Craig Benwell says, if this was real life, I would have been loaded up and been in the bar with Nick's dad and Wolfgang.
Let's see what the chat says for a little moment.
Yeah, Rico Mills is saying, not the gate boys, bad memories.
Not the gate pace, yeah.
I know exactly what he means.
So do I. What happened at that test meeting was really, really brutal, to be fair. I have never witnessed something like that. But, to be fair, it was a thing of bad luck, really, that has happened. Cars crashing into that bad point. Going straight in that pit gate. Smashing it out.
But still done a good job of repairing it, and I'm glad we can be back again. And I think,
as you already said, I mean, we were lucky that no one got injured on that. But anyway, yeah, it's good that no one got hurt and everything is back repaired, and they put some more stability in there, so that should not happen anymore.
No. And what shouldn't happen anymore as well is that my game is messing about, and hopefully can actually show what is going on in that final, because our server host hasn't been really providing a good job tonight, but hopefully we'll be alright. And I think Jeremy just had word in our receiver/Discord saying he's nearly got the points done for the final.
Which is really good.
Which is really
of course.
good. Because then we can get our fan vote going on, and everyone get ready. Nick, have you got your pen and paper ready to start counting?
Of course I have.
Good to hear.
All prepared. All prepared.
And as we are nearing the 2-hour point of our stream, we are ready for our final, and that will also be the last race of the evening. After the final will be done for tonight, and I don't think we are decided on where we are running next week, are we, Nick?
I think we've got an idea of where we're going to race, but I will have to double check. I don't want to say anything wrong.
No, we'll announce it on Facebook later this week. As we are running, once again, like last week, around 160 people saying it was for the evening. Really appreciate it, thanks. thanks for your patience of our race admins calculating the points for the final. It will be a 25 car final, including the wildcard winner.
Wildcard, yeah.
Yes, we will line up at the back of the grid. But in saloon stock cars, that kind of position don't really say anything, because I think it's going to be mental. There's going to be some big crashes, and I didn't really see much, and the fans of us didn't really see much in that last race, but it sounded to be an exciting one, and I think everyone has showed some great potential and great racing tonight. As I just had a quick look in our Discord chat, and I see people saying against each other, "Oh man, I really enjoyed that race, and that was a good battle." And it's good to hear and good to see that the people racing as well are proper enjoying what they're doing.
That's what it's all about, to entertain people, to keep everyone going during these times without proper real life racing. So then, I'll quickly go downstairs to race control to see how far they are. I'll be back in just a second.
Yes. Ook voor alle Nederlandse kijkers, wederom weer hartelijk dank voor het meekijken vanavond. Het is, ik weet niet of er mensen meekijken wie normaal zeg maar lokaal zijn voor Posterold en dat hun thuisbasis is. Ik hoop dat we wat leuks voor jullie hebben neer kunnen zetten. En dat jullie toch nog wat wedstrijden te zien hebben hier op jullie thuisbaan. En mooi dat iedereen er weer bij is. En ja, zoals gezegd hebben we nog 1 wedstrijd te gaan vanavond. Euromaster kampioenschap. Wie dus eigenlijk dit weekend in het echt gehouden zou worden als alles door was gegaan. Maar we het nu dus online doen. We wachten nog even op de uitslag van de startgrid. En dan gaan we zo snel mogelijk de vote doen voor jouw favoriete niet geplaatste coureur waar je nog op kunt stemmen. Om die de laatste plek in de finale te geven.
I have good news! We have a grid for the Euromaster Championship final.
Here we go. Is it in Discord? Can I watch it?
It is in Discord. Yeah. It is in Discord on the general chat page. And it looks like the Red Tops have been the most consistent ones in those qualifying heats, as Jeremy van der Kratz secures himself pole position for that Euromaster Championship final in car number H16. On first row outside, it's Charlie Lobb in 980, with second row inside being Irish Open champion 153 Ryan Ride. Second row outside is 134, which is Peter Shaw. On third row inside, it's 642, Nigel Thomas. Third row outside is 399, that is Cole Atkins. And in fourth row inside, it's 747, Matty Sterling. Fourth row outside is 87, Robin van Brank. With fifth row inside, 122, Zach Gilmore. 140 is Pandemine, he secures himself fifth row outside. Sixth row inside, 868, Bart Wouters. And on the outside, 392, that's Julian Smith. Seventh row inside is Lee Pears in car number 23, with on his outside 633 white top driver Laurens Andringa. Further down we've got 631 in 8th row inside, and then it's 370 Rowan Benai on his outside. 220 Casey Engelston takes 9th row inside, and with on his outside it's Kenny Wagemans in 112. 10th row inside, it's Mikey Ross Mallon in car number 400, with on his outside 321, that is Hardy Velema. 11th row inside went to Warren Darby in 677, with on his outside it's 189, Sven Slivioda. And on the last row of the grid, we've got 424 Patrick Grutters and 527 Geronimo taking the last spot in that Euromaster final. So now you've got the chance to vote for your favourite driver that's not qualified as of yet. I'll give you 1 minute from off now to vote for your driver. Let's see who everyone is voting for. I've got one vote for Remco van Wezel already. Darren Turner votes for himself. That just counts one time.
As we see Bamwell, we see Remco van Wezel, we see Which chat are you looking at, by the way, Nick? Because I did not realize they are voting from 2 chats. So
Yeah, they are. I'm watching it both at the same time.
oh, you are
windows
multitasking again. As we see 3 for Remco van Wezel. We see a couple for Craig Benwell. That's a close battle so far, I think.
Jake's one trying to vote twice for his. Darren Edkins saying not 398, he's useless. As Benwell now goes into the lead from Remco van Wezel at the moment. Ian McLaughlin gets a good few votes as well. Another one for Craig Benwell coming up. Another Craig Benwell. Ian McLaughlin now overtaken Remco van Wezel. It's Ian McLaughlin really versus Benwell. Here comes another vote for Benwell as we have 10 seconds left. They're side by side now. Pretty much. 2, 1, and it's over. And that means that Craig Benwell has secured himself the wild card with 14 votes compared to 12 for Ian McLaughlin. So it's 1-8 Benwell to the back of the final grid. 13th row inside. He's showed some really good performance in that English Championship, so I could really think that this could be a good wild card driver, one with some chances in this race.
Yeah, definitely. As I've put up the grid for the final on our stream thing, our stream view, as Craig replies, "Hold tight, riders. Thank you for voting." Hold tight, riders. It's good to see him out there, and I thought, I mean, Ian, I've got sympathy for Ian as well. He would have deserved a wild card as well, but it's good to see Craig out in this one, and I'm curious to see what he can do from the back of that crate. From the back of that race. As you give me 5 seconds, Nick, I'll be right back with you for the final.
Alright, so we are nearly ready for the Euromaster. Drivers keep joining the server. I wouldn't have thought that all the red tops are at the front that much, like Jeremy van der Kratz, Charlie Lobb and Ryan Wright being the first 3 drivers on the grid. But it seems like they've been the most consistent drivers in those qualifying heats, and that made them putting on top. So then everyone keeps joining the server.
I am back and ready, Mr. Nick.
That's really good to hear, Kevin. I think we should be nearly ready.
I am excited for this one, as I can't really see the the lineup because my stream view is quite small, but I see Jeremy van der Kratz on the inside front, and Charlie Lobb and Ryan Wright make it up the top 3 of this evening. And to be fair, is that I did not expect them 3 to be out on top. I thought Peter Shaw would have been nearer the front, but
that's what I just said when you was away, Kevin.
Oh.
So that's quite fitting. As I said, they must have been the most consistent drivers throughout the heats, taking 2 seconds, thirds, fourth, and just picking up the points, while some of the other drivers might just have been quick in 1 or 2 of the races and not getting anywhere in the other heats. So it's pretty much about consistency to qualify at top for this final, but we'll see. It is shaping up to be a good battle between all the red tops at the front, and I'm really looking forward to who's going to take that Euromaster crown.
I'm surprised Robin van Brenk on the fourth row outside. I mean, he's only installed R-Factor today. I mean, like you said, he has had experience of R-Factor before, but it's good to see him coming back. First meeting he's done on our E-Series. Obviously, he has been racing in saloons for a longer time, and Yeah, it's good to see him doing well in qualifying in such a good position. So I think it's going to be a really hard and exciting battle for the win. And I think this time there's a smaller chance of a underdog winning it, because the front rows are made up out of our top grade drivers this time round, compared to the others where it was mostly lower grade drivers that made up the front first few rows. So really curious to see what's going to happen. Have you had word from the admins yet, Nick, about how long till we are starting?
We are just missing one more driver on the grid.
Who are we missing?
I have no idea,
Oh.
but the admins seem to know we are missing, so
Well,
I trust them.
That's that's exactly their job.
So then, it's final time as they just call, so maybe we're not missing anyone. It's 26 people on the server, so that would mean we are missing one driver, as it's 25 qualifiers, Jan and myself on the server. Anyway, all drivers had their time to join the server on time. We can't wait for ages until everyone has made it. Maybe the driver has turned off PC or has got internet problems, you never know. So the car's probably still crushed and not ready to go in that final.
He didn't bring enough fuel. He didn't expect it to make 4 races this evening.
He didn't expect to make the final, so they just went into the bar and drinking beer. Julian Smith is the driver missing, I just got told. 392, Julian Smith.
That's not good, because he's done a good job this evening. But we can't wait forever, sadly. I mean, just the people who are watching have probably got better things to do later this evening. So
Watch NASCAR.
watch NASCAR, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte this evening. For the people that can watch it, it's exciting to see racing back on, and I'm very happy with it. So
Let's hope. I hope our racing is back as soon as possible.
yes, definitely.
As I have to say, I'm sweating a little bit. I'm excited.
Yes, I am feeling goosebumps for the final. I think it's going to be really interesting to see who's going to take this one. And maybe you can go message the race admins that will just start with the missing car, Nick. I think he's had enough notice.
Yes, so Jan also saying, so now it's time for the E-Series, the Euromaster 2020. They skip sessions as the laps are not right. So
If we ever made an effort of making ourselves look like amateurs, we have. Right, no, I'm only joking. They've been doing a good job. We want to run 25 laps in that final, so we quickly need to change it.
oh, I think I've seen the issue. I should have put myself in as an admin first
And you forgot.
to make it work. So here we go now. That's match.
As
Yeah,
our race
that's the thing, you
admin
have
says,
one job, Nick.
you have one job, Nick, and you're too busy rambling on about something.
So laps are now sorted. 24 cars ready for the Euromaster 2020.
As we are looking at our grid of drivers who are going to line up at the bend 1 and 2 till they get called out to the grid position, and then have a slow rolling lap with Mr. Tractor Jan Hartsbecker in front of them, and then we'll go away for 25 laps of racing for the Euromaster final. As the cars now roll away to line up in turn 1. As there's a massive track glitch going on. As we have our Zach Gilmore lined up, Nick, Charlie Lobb, Matt Sterling, Rowan Van Eyck, Peter Shaw, Ryan Wright, Nigel Thomas, Hendrik Velema, Peter Shaw. That is quite a lineup for a final, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So then, DJ has done his job now. Found a version of the Roots Sandstorm that we actually are allowed to play.
Without the YouTube police getting us.
Yeah.
So the first drivers get called out are pole sitter Jeremy van der Kraats and the outside row, first row, Charlie Lobb are making their way to the grid. Who is gonna get called out second? Have you got the grid in front of you?
I can check. Next up, second row, Ryan Wright on the inside and Pete Shaw on the outside. So it's an all Northern Irish row number 2 for the Euromaster 2020.
As we look at Ryan Wright and Peter Shaw now going past our camera. As we go ready for the third row, Nick. Who have we got on there?
Row number 3 is 642 Nigel Thomas on inside. Will he get an issue while he is leading with 128 Craig Benwell, who's been voted into this one? Well, you never know. Atkins is on row 3 outside in car number 399.
We see them driving past our camera now as the row of cars is starting to slim down already. We've got Philo Engelston down there, Geronimo out there, Bart Wouters, Laurens Andringa, Mikey Rosmalen, Warren Darby, Craig Benwell won the wildcard. That is a good view of cars that is still about to line up. As Sandstorm is playing for us, and as I'm getting kind of excited for the final, Nick, as we see Matt Sterling now being called out, and Robin van Brenk in H87 in our DSCDA hire car making his way to the grid as well.
Fourth row outside for Robin. Fifth row inside, 122 Zach Gilmore. The man who was leading last week's final for so long.
Will he be able to take the lead in the final again and not take his left front wheel off?
It's a lot harder around here though than around Crimmins.
Yes.
140 Pandamine anyway is on row 5 outside.
Where have we got Pandamine? There we've got Mr. Meany. He'll be excited to do well in this one as well. As there leaves less and less cars around the fence in turn number 1 and 2 to be called out to the grid. I feel like Rowan Van Eyck is about to be called up next, isn't he?
No, it is Bart Wouters next to Julian Smith up next.
Bart Wouters, where is he? There he is. You see Bart Wouters, and who else did you say out there next to?
Julian Smith.
Oh, Julian. Oh, that's the one missing. So that is, yes, he's missing. So that will leave a blank space on the grid. As we look at Bart Wouters now driving past us on his way to the grid, where we should have had Julian Smith out there as well, but sadly he's not made it for the final. So who's out next?
Anyway, up next is Lee Piers on the inside. So it looks like he's done a really good job at qualifying for this one.
I think Lee Piers is out in this one in the Samsung hire car this evening. As is Laurens Andringa. I'm really surprised by that performance as well this evening.
Doing very well, Laurens. On that row number 7 outside. Up next now is 631. That's Peter Lowe next to Rowan Van Eyck in car number 370.
We see Peter Lowe going out in the Billy Smith hire car. We see now Kenny Wagemans leading. Driving up. As
he will start next to 220, which is Casey Angleston, your last week's final winner.
Can he do it again this week, Nick?
It will be hard.
It will be hard from that far back, yeah, definitely. It will be hard.
From row 9, it will be hard.
As we are now zooming out behind the trees.
Row 10
Row 10.
is Mikey Ross-Malin on the inside in car number 400 with 321 Hardy Velema on his outside.
See, Hardy Velema driving past us with Mikey warming tyres, pretending it is the real life thing. And all we've got left now is Geronimo out there, Warren Darby, Patrick Ruttes. Who is in the other hire car? I can't see. That must be... Do you know who is in the other Samson hire car down there?
That's probably Sven Slibioda.
Oh yes, Sven Slibioda,
Yes,
that newcomer. Who's never raced a saloon yet, but he's got one sitting in his shed to be raced as soon as the racing goes back on. Then we go to the last row, which must be Patrick Ruttes and Geronimo lining up.
Exactly. 44 on the inside, 527 on the outside, and then it will be Craig Banwell joining at the back of the grid. So then, look at that lineup. Look at that start-finish straight there. All cars lined up with all them custom-made skins, real-life skins. That should have been the sight at the real Postal today, but anyway, we will do our best to put some show on online for you out there. As we are now getting ready for 22 laps of action, the Euromaster final, and I'd say as soon as the rolling lap tune starts, we will shut up and be quiet to enjoy that rolling lap, 2 rolling laps, before we get into action. So then, here we go, it's time for the Euromaster Championship final here at Postrold.
As our race admin now calls 2 rolling laps to go before we go green. As I'm zooming out and diving down near the fence and have a little zoom in of our lineup that will go past twice before we give the green flag for the Euromaster final.
22 laps, 1 winner, 25 cars out there. Let's get ready to rumble.
Jeremy van der Kraats, Charlie Loeff and Ryan Wright, our red tops have made it 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. Great performance by them. But will we see a red top driver winning, or will we see an underdog coming past? I'm really curious to see who can do what in this one. As our pace car is leading the way and people are warming their tyres, Nick. As they now come past start finish for the second time around, which will mean this will be the last rolling lap before we go green in our Euromaster final. People are calling the wins, some people are calling 980, some are calling 23, the current 1300cc stock car world champion Lee Pearce. And my heart rate's going up a little bit, Nick, as we are now going...
Same for me. Look, just listen to that rolling lap tune, watch all them cars go down that straight, absolutely unreal. So let's be a little bit quiet until we go into that racing. As the green flag now goes down, we're up and away to the Euromaster 2020 for 2 international saloon stock cars.
It is Charlie Loeff and Jeremy van der Kraats from the start, but there's massive crashes happening already as we are now joining Charlie Loeff on board as he is fighting already for that first place together with Jeremy and trying to pull away from the field behind them, as we saw big competitor Ryan Wright getting spun out early, and I wonder if he can make it back to the front as we see someone with a wheel off already. Nick, can you see who that was?
That is one of the Samson Aya cars. I can't exactly see who that is, but Jeremy van der Kraats is still under pressure from 980 Charlie Loeff, who now starts going in with a bumper, and Nigel Thomas goes in with a bumper to Matt Starling to take 3rd place. Loeff sees the parked car. That's got removed from our admins now, and he is pushing the 16 round, the English Open champion. Can 980 win this Euromaster Championship final? It's a good fight already, as they now start to get in between the back markers. Peter Lowe is the first one of them to get past on track. It's Van der Kratz leading from Loeff. Third is now Nigel Thomas. Fourth is Matt Starling and Robin van Brank going well in fifth place. And look at 980. He doesn't really have pressure by third place, but he's pushing 16 round. He seems to have a little bit of a pace advantage.
Yes, as he seemed to lock up in that last bend, but that doesn't seem to affect his pace. As they're now catching up to the back markers, Nick. And we see one of the Samson Hire cars as... No!
He's out to spin right Van der Kratz. He's getting stuck with one of the back markers. Side by side they go for the lead.
They're fighting for the lead, going past the home straight to go into lap 9 of this final for the lead of the race. What a move by Charlie Loeff, who nearly spun out Jeremy. But will Jeremy get back at him? Will he try and give a punt to keep up with him in this race?
Fair play to both of them. Really fair racing there from both of them. 980 now leading the way, and it looked like he has a bit of pace advantage, and he opens a little bit of a gap to number 16 there. As there's a lot of carnage going in on between the back markers. They are all involved in that traffic now. Mikey was my... And it's Benoit! It looks like he's going to finish it out! Oh my God! Benoit is putting both of them in! And that 16 back in the lead. Jeremy Van der Kratz.
It's Jeremy Van der Kratz leading the way now, and it's Nigel Thomas in second and Charlie Loeff, who's lost the place, up to third.
Van der Kratz now with a little bit more of a gap to the rest of the pack, so that has pretty much helped him out there. Second is Nigel Thomas in 642. Third is Charlie Loeff, 980. Matt Starling keeps going in fourth. Robin van Brank in fifth.
So a steady job so far by Jeremy, who's already pulled a 5 second gap up to Charlie Loeff, who's lost a lot of places behind when he got nearly spun out, hasn't he? So it's now Nige who's got the biggest chance of keeping up with Jeremy thus far. It's only for Jeremy if he gets caught up by back markers. Other than that, he's got a massive gap up to the rest of the field already. So I wonder what he's going to manage from here.
It is Jeremy Van der Kratz still leading the way comfortably from Nigel Thomas. What has happened to Charlie Loeff? He's dropping down to fourth. It looks like he's not going very well.
I think he's got a puncture, Nick.
He got taken out.
It looks like he's got a puncture.
That, of course, could be the case. Yeah, he's going straight in at every bend. So that looks like Charlie Loeff is limping around now with a puncture after that huge accident, including Rowan Venai. So that is all playing in the carts for Jeremy Van der Kratz, who is leading the way up and away at the front. If nothing major happens to the leader, Nigel Thomas will not be able, I think, to catch up to number 16, Jeremy Van der Kratz, as Matt Starling goes in with a bumper there from a lap down. But look who's in front of 642. It's 128 Craig Banwell. So he will probably do his best to stop 642 winning this race. 16 though, Jeremy Van der Kratz leading the Euromaster race comfortably now. Zach Gilmore going very well in third place in car number 122. Kenny Wagemann's going well in fourth. And look who's back to fifth. It's Ryan Wright in 153.
But look at the gap Jeremy's pulled. He's got a half lap advantage over number 3, so the only real threat for him left is Nigel Thomas, but he is a long way down, and Craig has taken him out, Nick. He is gone. Nigel Thomas has been taken out of second place, half spun for half a lap and still in second. That kind of shows how much of a gap they've got.
But I already said it earlier, 128 was going to make it hard for 642 to win this race, but this all gives an easy lead to H16, Jeremy Van der Kratz.
A very easy lead, as he has a massive half lap advantage over our number 2 driver, Nigel Thomas, with Kenny Wagemans and Zach Gilmore being the only real battle at the moment for a position near the front, who are fighting for that podium place in third.
As they go down the back straight, 16, Jeremy Van der Kratz. Just pretty much racing lap after lap now, trying to not get taken out, and the victory is his. 3 laps to go, but it is stock car racing. People can still get involved even from a lap down. So it's going to be still exciting. Can number 16 keep his car going? But Wout is now one of his real-life rivals, of course, fighting for the championships now in front of him. Is he going to make a move on the 16 machine as soon as he has passed him? Or will 16 maybe even try to not overtake the 868 just in case? He's got the advantage, of course, going in the last lap now. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. H16, Jeremy van der Kratz, passing the line for the last lap.
He's gonna win it. He's gonna win it, Nick. He's got it in the bag, unless something really special happens on that last bend, but it won't. No, it is Nick. It is Jeremy van der Kratz leading a great race, leading for half the race comfortably, and winning the Euromaster final.
From the pole sitter takes the victory in this Euromaster Championship. What a drive there by Jeremy. Not a single mistake in this one. Second goes to Nigel Thomas. Third goes to Ryan Wright, who is the third place finisher and the last driver to not get lapped by the leader. So, Kenny Wageman's another driver that didn't get lapped in fourth. But anyway, Jeremy van der Kratz has lapped the whole field up into fifth place. No, Kenny Wageman's as well. The Riedel's been playing up a little bit there. Kenny Wageman's was also lapped. So everyone, including fourth place, was lapped by Jeremy van der Kratz. What a race from him. Not a single mistake, as I already said. Congrats to H16, Jeremy van der Kratz.
Yeah, great race by him. Well done. And after taking the English Championship, also winning the Euromaster final. What a great race by him. Great performance. And props to Ryan Wright as well. After getting spun on that very first bend, making it all the way back into third place. What a great race. Great job by him. Well done to everyone. We'll give you a quick rundown of the results, won't we, Nick? Can you do that for us?
Of course, winner of the Euromaster Championship is Jeremy van der Kratz in H16. Second, Nigel Thomas 642. Ryan Wright took third in 153. Then it was Kenny Wageman in 112. Fifth went to Scotsman Zach Gilmore in the 122. Casey Engelston got sixth place in 120. Seventh was Warren Darby in 677. Eighth went to Lawrence Andringa. Good performance by him in H633. Ninth was Robin van Brank in H87. And 10th went to Cole Atkins in the 399.
I really enjoyed tonight, Nick. We've seen some great racing. I mean, Jeremy kind of made the final look boring, as in fighting for the front places. But what wasn't boring was seeing his performance in that one, wasn't it? Such a great drive by him. He managed it well, did a good job. I mean, if the real life Euromaster final is going to be anything like this one, I would sign up for it. Great racing by everyone. Thanks to all the drivers. Thanks to everyone who watched. We really appreciate it, and I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did, Nick, because we had a good time, didn't we?
Really good time, really good racing. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope to see you next week, and bye bye for now.
Hopefully see you all next week, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good week. And stay safe, and see you next time. Bye bye.